guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm here at this secret location because guess what? We have a very special car that really is making my heart go pitter-patter. This is a 2019 Acura RDX A Spec. So let's talk a little bit about Acura. Acura came around late 1980s. You know, they had the Acura Legend. Of course, we cannot forget the original Acura NSX and the new version, that Generation 2 that we have. Well, guess what? Acura has really decided to open up the gambit and have a nice selection of vehicles to fit everybody's needs, whether it's sports car, whether it's sedan, or in this case, an SUV. Now, for 2019, they did a redesign, they made some changes, and I think that they really have focused on that precision crafted, that crafted precision design and performance that really makes this car a standout and has some really special features. Now, the A-Spec is gonna be that top level trim that's gonna give you some extra sporty appearance goodies that's gonna make this thing stand out from the SUV crowd, especially when we get to that interior. So let's go ahead, dive into this 2019 Acura RDX A Spec. So right off the bat, you'll see that the nose is totally been changed up. I like what they've done with the redesigned headlights. You have that jewel design, 7 LEDs with the daytime running lamps, very clean, very sharp. Now, as we work our way down, you have some functional venting here, a little bit of fake vent, but it's okay. You know why? Because the air is gonna hit that fake vent and go down this side air curtain here. That's gonna help channel air and make this thing cut through the air a little bit more like a hot knife through butter. You do have LED fog lamps down here, and that's a great touch too, to have LED everywhere. Headlights, fog lamps, the whole 9 yards. Now, as we come across the front, behind this massive Acura grille is gonna be all that radar technology that's gonna keep you safe while you're driving down the road. I like the way that they just hide it there, and you know what? On the front of this vehicle, it really looks perfectly placed, especially with that new design that they're going with the grills. Now, on the A-Spec, one thing to point out, everything is blacked out. So on a non-A-Spec model, this would be the shiny chrome trim, but I really think, especially with the white, the black trim looks amazing. And I just love the design that they're going in with the diamond-shaped type grille, kind of just everything spreading away from the center emblem. I think that's great. Now, down here, they went with a flat black, which I think is perfect because that's gonna help take a better beating. And behind this front fascia is a 2-liter intercooled turbocharged engine, which should be very familiar. It's actually out of the Type R, believe it or not. Now, as we hop out to the hood here, the hood for 2019 is actually lower. And I think that they really brought some aggressiveness into the style with those body lines. Very unique too, the way they kind of rise up and then fade back as you go towards the windshield. Now, as we come around the bend here, like I said, those air curtains, they are functional. We get to the wheels. These wheels look great on this car. This is the 20-inch wheel. The color is called shark gray. Now, one area where I wish they would have done something is on the A-Spec. I wish they would have at least made the calipers red. I think red calipers would have popped perfectly with the shark gray, with the white, and just bring a little bit more color to the vehicle. But with that A-Spec badge, you get a little bit of red there. And like I said, this is gonna be similar to like Lexus's F-Sport. So it's more appearance than performance, but I promise you, underneath that hood, there's plenty of performance. Now, as we come down the side, I want you to remember a number, 2.5. 2.5 inches. The wheelbase, the space in between the front wheel and the rear wheel is 2.5 inches longer than last year, but guess what? The length of the whole vehicle is also 2.5 inches. So that's gonna really help maintain that awesome interior space, plus give this thing some amazing handling capabilities, especially because this has the super handling all-wheel drive option. Now, as we go down the side, very slim and trim turn signals, and also, like I said, A-Spec, everything is blacked out. I like the gloss black up here, little bit of flat black, and I think this is the smartest move. This gloss black trim, I think, perfectly gives the side the right amount of definition to where this thing going down the road, it's gonna capture your eye. I know when the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, this is gonna be interesting. And it really is. Wait until we get to the inside. Now, as we come back, you have that nice slope roof design. Guess what? It's an illusion. They didn't actually lower the roof. You still have tons of headroom in there, but what really is hitting the nail on the head for giving you that illusion is this blacked out area in the rear quarter here. That's giving it that floating roof design, and it's gonna make the roof appear to be a little bit lower, but very, very nicely shaped quarter window. And as we go into the back, look at the body lines, how the fender kind of flares out. Really nice touch. And then when we get to the rear end of the business here, I think they hit the nail on the head. You have these very nice, almost like I think they're calling these the dragon tail style taillight design. Love the LEDs. You have a good old fashioned air conditioning bulb as your turn signal. Some people are picky about that. You know what? It works. It looks good. Nice low roof spoiler with that gloss black, and it's got a little bit of design element there. They could have just put a flat slab roof spoiler, but you know what? They went a little bit beyond that. Now, when it comes to the back, I like the way it's nice and flat. You have your A Spec badging, a rear diffuser area, and they kept it small with this fake venting material just to give it a little definition. So I'm not going to zonk that. What I'm definitely not going to zonk is the exhaust. First of all, they're real. Second of all, they actually have a nice sound, and I think the size on the A Spec just really is perfect. There's our SH super handling all-wheel drive. New for this year, 70% of the power can get to the back wheels. That's gonna make this RDX handle like nothing but the business. Let's go ahead, pop open the hood, and see what kind of power we're working with. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on this RDX. Like I said, first off, we got hood struts. So that's a nice thing to see. Makes it easy when opening up the hood, and that should look very familiar to you because like I said, that is the detuned Type R engine right out of Type R, also found in the Accord Sport 2.0. But that is a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, 272 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. Guess what? It's connected to Acura's in-house 10-speed automatic transmission. Like I said, that super handling all-wheel drive is going to make sure that the power gets to the ground, and 70% of it can go to the rear wheels. When we're doing 0 to 60, 6.4 seconds 0 to 60, quarter mile 14.8 seconds at 94 miles an hour. If you're wondering, well, what are the MPGs on something with this kind of performance? 21 miles per gallon in the city, 28 on the highway. That's actually an increase over the V6 because remember, the outgoing one had a V6. It's got 100% torque vectoring at all 4 corners, and this one with the all-wheel drive weighs a tick over 4,000 pounds, 4,015 pounds. But I definitely think that's so smart for Acura to have this power plant, and I think they've gone definitely design-wise in the right direction. Let's go ahead and fire this up and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the 2019 Acura RDX A Spec. Now, I know, just like I was asking, I know that you're asking. When I saw this, I was like, this has got to be pricey. You know what? The price really makes sense for this vehicle, and it's actually surprising. MSRP, the way that this one sits, and it's really loaded pretty much to the top, $46,795. Let's go ahead and see what we get. So all new on the interior. I love what Acura has done. This car has that new ELS 3D sound system, 16 speakers on that door panel. That's aluminum. That's an aluminum speaker cover. I love the gray trim. I love the leather and the red contrast stitching. Such wonderful definition. When it comes to the interior, all the materials are nice and soft. The flow is going on great. You have the Alcantara with the stitching on the dash, just a little bit of gloss black here and there, and I like this aluminum trim across the bottom as well. Very nicely done. Now, in other trim levels, this is wood, but I like how on the A Spec, how it's about, you know, that performance look to it. You have the leather on the center console here with the red stitching. What's all new is, guess what? They got rid of that dated dual screen setup. That's a 10.2-inch horizontal screen. Love the size. I like the perfect placement. Now, we're gonna get back to this in a second, but let's go ahead and feature the rest of what's going on here. So you have your radio controls, AC, obviously dual climate, ventilated seats, and heated seats. Very, very nice. I know a lot of this may look complicated, but once you figure it out, it actually makes perfect sense. Even the start-stop button is sexy. How many cars can you say, hey, I want to push that button? That's a button that I want to push every single day, because I would love to have this as a daily driver, and I'm not stretching that by any means. Now, this vehicle does have dynamic mode. Now, I'm going to have Tom kind of focus back on that 10.2-inch screen. When you go through your modes, it gives you a nice little chime: Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and for those of you who live up north, we don't get much snow in Florida, but you're living up north with that all-wheel drive system and whatnot, it's great to have those different modes. So very smart the way that Acura did that, and that's gonna obviously adjust all the parameters of how this car drives to make sure that you're getting all the performance to the ground. Here is another new thing. This is gonna be controlling that 10-speed automatic transmission. It does have a sport mode as well that you could put into. Once you go into drive, you hit it again, and that puts it into a sport shift style. You hit park there. This is really cool. So I like the gloss black, and I love the silver trim. This is really cool. Now, if you're wondering, you're saying to yourself, oh, that's just another trackpad. No. Because the placement of the infotainment screen is all the way up here in a perfect way for you to see it, it's not a touch screen. So what Acura did was they have this new technology where it's essentially taking the screen and putting it here. If I want to go home, let me go ahead and go back one page. There's all of my icons. If I want to bring navigation back up, I don't actually have to trace my finger and go up there. I just hit in the upper left-hand corner, and voila, there's my navigation again. You could go back to home, and same thing. If I want Sirius XM, you see how I'm holding my finger and it lights up? Brilliant. I hit it, and then my Sirius XM is going to come up. Really, really smart. Now, one thing that is a little different is that if you notice, you have a split screen setup. You cannot, so if I go back to navigation, you cannot make the navigation the whole 10.2-inch screen. That to me is a little bit of a zonk, but you know what? What's really cool is that there's an actual separate pad here which controls this screen specifically. So you can scroll through your music. I could bring the navigation back up. That's the same exact map. It's not extended or anything like that, but very, very nicely done. And then you could swap back and forth between the two images, which is great. I do like that setup. This thing makes sense. At first you're like, hold on, what's going on there? But I like it. Very nice leather palm rest, or fist rest, whatever you want to say, whatever digit you want to put here, whether it's your pinky or your thumb, whatever. It's very comfortable. Loving this. Nice aluminum sliding. You slide that away. You got obviously USB. That's where I got my cord plugged in. You got place for garage door opener, 2 cup holders, and what's beautiful when you're not using it, it looks so great. Armrest. Love the leather, love the stitching, nice, soft, perfect height. Open her up. You do have more space in here. Now, there's not all the connectivity, because guess what? As we drop down, all the connectivity is happening here, and I think that this is just a beautiful design, very nicely with the split area. You can put your phone down here. Look at this. We got all of our connectivity right there with the 12 volt and whatnot, and then you come around and there's your USB. So you have a USB here and a USB there, plus the 12 volt. And then really one of my favorite parts of the inside, these seats. Love the leather material, love the suede Alcantara perforated in the center. Great design, fits you well, plus it's so comfortable and supportive at the same time. These seats are 16-way positionable seats, believe it or not. Actually, I think it's 18. It might be 18-way positionable seat. Plus, look up top, you have a wonderful panoramic sunroof. Nice all the way back for your passengers in the back. But why don't you come on over to the business end, and I'll show you behind the wheel of this RDX. All right, guys, business end. So the seats are 16-way electric adjust. I love the A Spec on the sill, the aluminum cover here, and even like dead pedal and also your brake and gas pedal are gonna get some nice brushed aluminum treatment. Very nice touch. Love the black piping. The seat's great. Now, my favorite thing, this is my second favorite. Seats are my second favorite. My favorite thing in this car is the steering wheel. Acura hit it spot on with this. It's almost like the steering wheel out of their prototype car in the IMSA WeatherTech series. I love the thickness, the stitching, the perforated side here. A spec, staring you smack dab in the center. You have some nice trim, tasteful horn button, and I'm a big fan of these thumb wheels and whatnot. The controls are great, easy to understand and figure out. Guess what? Metal paddles. On the A spec, you get metal shifting paddles. How many cars in this price point or more come with plastic? I love it. And then the dash, check that out. Like I said, beautiful. When it comes to analog gauges, I really love what they did on this vehicle, especially with the red LED backlight, the nice silver, and then you have that digital display in the center. Like I showed you before, you could put this into, there's drive, and then we go into sport. I'm gonna go back into park. And then also with the dynamic modes, it not only shows up on the screen, but also tells you down there what mode that you're in. That's a very, very nice feature. But why don't we go ahead, check out the back seat and see how your passengers are gonna be loving life in this RDX. All right, guys, we're inside the back seat of the RDX. What I love about the back seat is that, first of all, the seating position. I feel a little higher than the driver and the passenger, which gives me a great view out the windshield, so I'm not, feeling weird being in the back seat. One thing I know many of you are gonna love is that you get the plastic on the back. That's gonna help protect from when the kids are kicking the seat. I'm not the biggest fan of it, especially when you have this beautiful red leather, but hey, for a lot of you, you are gonna have your kids back here. Nice little command center with your dual AC, and you also have not only one, but 2 USBs. So thank you, Acura, for taking care of those families that have more than one kid that's gonna be sitting back there. And we all know that they're glued to their devices, so they're always gonna be charged. Like I said, same pattern, same wonderful fit and feel back here. You got a nice armrest, and voila, look, Acura is smart. Horizontal, not vertical cup holders. Lots of real estate, so you and your little sister don't have to bang elbows and upset your parents. But very, very comfortable. I could see riding back here, no problem for a far distance. But let's go ahead, check out that cargo area and see how much space that you have in the RDX A Spec. All right, guys, time to check out what kind of stuff and junk can we put in the trunk. Nice power assist, and it's really on the quicker side, which I like. Little touches, you see this? You got the nice aluminum on the bottom portion here as you're bringing things in and out. Obviously, you can see Tom's got all of his protein and meats and his cooler and whatnot, and we have all our gear because we're filming today, but there's tons of space back here. Even, which I think is smart, is Honda. Look at that. You could actually fit tons of things in there and not even have anything up top. So if you want to hide something from your kids, a gift or a present or something like that, maybe you got your wife something special for your anniversary that I hope you remember, you could put it in there and nobody's the wiser. Seats, watch this. This is what I love, watch this. Pull the handle, bam. Let me move Tom's protein cooler here. You can see just how nicely they fold down. I'll go ahead and pull the other handle, and it doesn't have to be electric. We don't need look at that. Almost perfectly flat, gives you tons of space and ease of use. That's what I like. So many SUVs are switching over to power folding seats. It's like taking forever for it to happen, for those seats to go down. That way, they're dropped down and you're ready to do your thing. Go get your big screen TV, that 80-inch you always wanted, and put it right in the back of your RDX. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and take this RDX A Spec for a spin. All right, guys, we're in the 2019 Acura RDX A Spec. About to take it for a drive. I've been driving this one for the past few days. Absolutely love how it drives. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and, like I showed earlier, we're gonna put it into Sport Plus mode. It is a little rainy, but remember, we have that SH super handling all-wheel drive system. Here we go. Love the seating position. Love the view out the front. On throttle. Power gets down. What's cool is that the information center between the 2 gauges, you could actually see the all-wheel drive doing the business. Good pedal feel, even though we're not dealing with super sport brakes or anything like that, but I'm telling you, front end feel is great, and with that 10-speed automatic transmission, shifts really, really, really nice. Gets the traction down, so you're not gonna have to worry about that, that's for sure. Love the sound. Now, the sound that you're hearing is being piped in through the sound system, but you know what? My brain doesn't know the difference. My ears definitely don't know the difference. It sounds really good. In that Sport Sharp, that Sport Plus, it really allows the gearbox to shift very, very nicely. Brakes feel great. Throttle, the feedback is awesome. And that's the thing is that you could really tell that Acura has done their homework, not only with making the appearance more performance precision, but also what's going on behind the wheel. And that's what you really want at the end of the day, because this is where you're spending all the time. But I really like just how balanced this SUV feels and very secure. And that 10-speed, really, really, really nice. Very, very smooth ride, very capable ride. The seats are so supportive, and I'm telling you, check off the A Spec box and definitely get this red interior. Unbelievable. But on throttle, transmission does its business. Holds a line very nicely. Great sound coming from the engine, man, I'm telling you. Really, really smooth. I like the placement of the infotainment system, because as we're driving a little bit more at a quicker pace here, it's not in my line of sight, which is awesome. Look at this. This is nice right here. Very, very nice. And you're right in the sweet spot. What I love about the transmission, it brings you right into the sweet spot of where you want that power to be from that 2-liter turbocharged engine. Very smooth. It's great. And this steering wheel, I love it. Love, love, love this steering wheel. And you know what? You have those metal paddles. If you want to shift through the gearbox, you could do that yourself if you want to. But I'm telling you, the 10-speed, just let the 10-speed do the work. It really knows exactly where you want it to be. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of highway driving just to give you a nice balance. I know not all of you are going to go down your favorite twisty road in your RDX, but you can if you want to. But you could also take that family trip, and that's the wonderful thing. You know, we showed you that great space for the passengers. Great space for you and your passenger up here, especially with this panoramic sunroof on a cloudy day. Nice to have it open, and just a nice, you feel more in tune with the environment. But merging, real easy to do. Visibility is great. I mean, they did a great job. Remember, they lowered that hood a little bit. I like the peaks, and those body lines really gives you some great reference points visually. And visibility in this thing is a snap. It's wonderful. Real easy to drive. You know, I know for some of you the gloss black is going to be a touchy spot. For me, it's not too much, and I really love that 10.2 inch screen. The zonk would be, I wish that I could extend the map all the way across that 10.2 inch. Other than that, I think they did a great job on this interior. Even like the blind spot monitoring in the corners, I like that. It's inside the car rather than on the glass. Great setup on that. But we're going to go ahead, wrap this one up, and get back to our undisclosed location. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a wonderful time with my second Acura press fleet vehicle. So I definitely got to thank Chris and everybody at Acura for allowing me access to this 2019 RDX A Spec. If these are the types of vehicles that you like to see on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on Rady's Rides, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. We appreciate your support. Speaking of support, the man supporting the camera, the man that has about 12 steaks in that cooler ready to eat before he goes weightlifting, we got to give it up to Tom Moschner, Big Guns McGee. He actually is quite impressed with this Acura RDX, and I think it would be amazing if the two of us had daily drivers of these. So Acura, if you offer it up, we are more than happy to accept. So thank you, Tom, for all your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.